Okay, I am back. I'm not going to be doing too much on Gonzo today. Although I am going to make some neck sleeves. And I want to show you. This is the I got this at a Christmas party this year. Or no, it wasn't a Christmas party. It was another event that the puppet LA Puppet Guild had, and it's basically the same fur that's on Gonzo, but it's a lighter color. So I was going to use this to kind of see if it was the right thickness that I was using. But basically, you build it in foam at a certain size, and then the fabric will make it bigger. So I was going to do like a test fit, but I don't know that I'll need this. But I'm going to take it tomorrow in case I do need it. I can just pin it on. So tomorrow, I should be able to check to make sure this thing is the right size, and then I can build the final next week. So, or maybe not next week. Maybe I'll do it into the new year. I'm not sure. Anyway, at some point I will build the actual thing. But I do need some neck tubes, and I figure I would build them today. So I went out and I bought this fabric. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it doesn't have any stretch to it. It's not particularly great, but I think it's probably at least 50% cotton. So it should work. I just don't want anything with stretch, and I want a little bit of breathability to it. Although I do think there's quite a bit. We don't have nearly the quality of fabric available to us that we did just a few months ago when we had Joann's. But Michael's does have this particular type of fabric, so I think I'll just make do with it. So I'm going to use some jersey mesh. I think this stuff doesn't have very much stretch to it, although I have used it on quite a bit of stuff. No, it does. Okay. So I'm going to use this again. I have used this stuff too, which is kind of the same stuff, but a looser thread or looser weave of some kind. But it does have quite a bit more stretch, but I don't have very much of it either. This stuff is easier to use. Maybe I'll use that. What's this stuff? Oh, this stuff is terrible. This stuff has no stretch to it at all and almost useless. I don't even know why I'm holding on to it. But I'll stick it back in the box and use it someday. Because I never throw anything away. Okay, so I do have this pattern. This is the only pattern I have up on my website is this neck sleeve pattern. And on there it says to make the jersey mesh 3 inches wide, but I've started making it more like 6 inches wide because it's a little bit easier to use. So I may update that at some point. Just I noticed on the Gonzo that there was really no play in it at all. So a little bit more is helpful. Maybe even like 4 inches would be better. Let's see. There's 3. 4 is probably pretty good. 6 might be too much. Yeah, let's do 4. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact. It just should be straight. And this is what those roller things are made for, although I don't have one of those roller things. But you can do it with an X-Acto knife, or a razor blade. I want to put this on here in such a way so that I can get it all in one pass so it can be straight. I think I'm going to make 5 of these guys right now, maybe 6. If I have the patience, I'll do 6. It's always good to make a couple more than you need when you do this, because when you get in a scrape, it's good to have them on hand. Like it's good. Like when you're working on something, it's good to have something in your stores that you can start, can use just in a pinch, so that you don't have to stop everything to get out the sewing machine and make an inside liner. When you're not on deadline, it's a little easier to do this. And why I moved it, I don't know, but I did. Okay, that should be enough to make, well, 3 of them, I guess. That's what I was trying to do last time. Even if I don't use them on this particular batch, I can save these for the next one, because I always use these things. So, all right, there we go. Okay, so let me get it up together. that did quite a bit. How did I lose my scissors? Hey Dave, how's it going? Am I going to make what part wider at the top? So what I did was I added more of this to it because the other one was only about that long. And so that'll cause it to be able to expand out as far as I need it to. So no, I'm not. If I could find my scissors. Well, heck. This is what I get for not cleaning, I guess. Oh wait, I had it. I know where it is. Just a second, I think I left it outside. See, my videos are all about me looking for my supplies. That's what it's all about. Yeah, I have no idea what happened to my sewing scissors. I had cut out some ultra suede this morning. I thought maybe that's where they ended up. This might be the day that I open up my next pair of scissors. I can't find them. Okay, let me see. I'm just gonna have to clean up this pigsty of a place. You know what? They're just gonna show up sometime down the way. It doesn't help that I have a bunch of orange handled scissors here that are not them. I'm just looking for another pair of scissors here. Which I swear were right here for all this time, and I don't know where they are now. This is going to be my best video ever. What's funny is I almost bought a new pair of scissors today, just in case I needed them. I found them. I knew I had cut them I had cut that Ultra Suede in the other room. I just couldn't remember where I did it. Okay. I've been using heat erase pens on black and white. Used to work great, but they must have changed the ink because you can hardly see the marks now, and the black now more of a gray. They end up in the jersey box. I guess you used a blade of that. Yeah, no, I found it. It was in the other room. I set it down on an end table and didn't think about it. I should. The other ones I have have a different color handle, which would be real easy to figure out that I, was using the correct scissors or whatever. Here, I can use the. I could have just used the blade on all this stuff. I want to leave about a 1/2 inch seam allowance on this. Okay, so usually what I do is I only mark one side of this, and then I doubled this up. And then I take this. I don't have any dip handle, plastic dip. All I have are the is the spray-on kind. I could again. I have not. I've had these since 2021, which is probably the longest I've had sewing scissors. I end up always accidentally using it one too many times with cardboard or something. So I must be getting better in that department. But as far as holding on to them. So basically, I set up each one of these things with a little strip of the mesh at the top. The ones that I have, I think, are white, maybe with blue. And the only pair that I have like that, so that'll be good. Yeah, I don't like the I like the heat erase ones, but I have not had the best luck with them either. This liner doesn't matter if I get the ink on them, so which is why I just use the Sharpie for it. These are actually, well, I'm gonna make, like I said, I'm gonna make 5 of these things, but 3 of them are actually for that freelance job I've been working on forever. What are you working on these days, Dave? I know. I made 10. I made 10 neck sleeves after I did T-Mobile, and that was about a year ago. I think I did that last October. I've gone through all 10 of those. I had some that I made from scratch. Like I had to make the Sammy one and the Zoidberg one, and a couple others that couldn't use the standard size. I made them a little bit longer. So I've probably gone through 15 of it, 12 or maybe 13, maybe 13, 14 of these things since last year. And now I'm making 5 more before I'm going to use up before the end of Christmas. So. Okay, I'll make those and make sure I'm doing it right before I waste a bunch of time. Let's see how that looks. Sorry, I know it's cutting out. I don't have a second monitor. I used to do this off screen. Okay. I've been working on patterning a glove puppet head. I'm on the 3rd iteration, which I think is going to get me there. Fantastic. So you're doing a head, not the body part? Is it similar to the way that that Adam did those Richard Nixon puppets? Was it Richard Nixon that he made? Gotcha. Yeah, I made when I made the Mr. Rogers puppets, the first one I made, nobody could use but me because my hands are so small. So I did alter the pattern after that to make them a little bit bigger. There's that. There's that. I almost live streamed some art today. I do want to start doing that more or semi-regularly, maybe 3-4 times a week. Coming up, which will probably be a separate channel. I'll probably do that on Melonpool. But I've been so shocked by the sudden, I guess, interest, in the old strips that I feel like I should do something with it. And part of that is drawing again. And I've been looking at, I think it's Draw or Die, something like that. The DJ Kaufman did a couple years ago. And he suggested live streaming the whole process. And since I've been seeing it, this has worked pretty well for me on the puppet front. I might try it with the webcomics as well, or the comics. I don't know if I want to do a webcomic again, but I do want to start drawing again. So something to look forward to in 2026 is me drawing again. And I'm doing this in white because it doesn't really matter. This is all on the interior of the puppet. Can't decide if this is better. We'll see if it gets stuck, I guess. And I didn't backstitch it because I'm going to run right over it. So, yeah, it worked. Wonderful. Okay. It's not upholstery. I still haven't found upholstery thread. It's a heavy duty thread though. I did get a couple of those when Joann's was going out of business. So it's a little bit better than the all-purpose Coats and Clarks that I usually use, but I only have it in white and black. So. It only has to last as long as until the check clears. It's really no, I'm kidding, but I try to make these things last as well as I can. You'll see how much more care I take on these puppets when I am building like the new Eddie and stuff on it. Here. Okay, so I want to put the bad edge on the outside of both of them, so that way when your hand goes up through it, it doesn't catch on it. And I want to make sure I have at least one with a line drawn on each of these. Maybe I'll make sure I have the one that corresponds with it. Hey, Dave. Hey, TC. How's it going? Yeah, I'm not thrilled with this particular fabric. I got it at Michael's. I'm gonna have to find some better stuff, but it'll do. I've used bed sheets for it, and it works pretty well. But I didn't have any. I think one of my like every 5 years clean up my apartment jags. I threw out a bunch of old bed sheets that I wasn't going to use, and now I could use them. I try to open these up when I remember to, but never really works out. I'm going to open up that other one on the other side too, but I couldn't quite get it. It doesn't really matter if I remember to do this or not. But I think it looks better. Makes it flatter. one of them. Boy, you are a machine, TC. Yeah, so this is the neck sleeve. And actually, it's for the 2 Gonzos I'm building, and then for a another project I'm working on. So I should build 5, but I'll probably build 6. I keep changing the number I'm doing. I may just build 2. I don't know. I had the old one that I used for, to mock up the Gonzo, but I don't want to use that one. That one was the only reason I used it is because I knew it was bad. Usually on the mock-ups, I don't put the neck sleeve. I just kind of have my arm exposed. But I thought, well, I have that one that there was a problem with it, so I might as well just use it. I'm going to have to fix that other side. There's a weird buckle going on here. I think maybe I have one of the pieces flipped and they're not corresponding exactly. Which, yeah, that's exactly what's going on. Okay, let me do this all again. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to be able to do it again because I've already sewn that other part. So there'll be a buckle. It's okay. It'll all be in the inside. Nobody will know. Yeah, good enough. All right. Something just happened there. So what happened was the thread got stuck, messed it all up. So let me try that again. I may want to actually rethread the machine, but let's see if it works. Oh. Yeah, it still messed it up. Okay, so let me rethread the machine. I should have done anyway. So what happened was it got stuck on this little, on this thing, which I don't know why it did all of a sudden, but it got stuck on it and locked it up. So funny. Sometimes I have problem getting it to hook on this little hook here. Other times it's super easy. There it goes. Okay, let's try this again now. That one's okay. Third time the charm on this one. Oh, what happened? Oh, there it is. My monitor keeps cutting out. I might have knocked something loose. Okay, I think both of these are done now, thankfully. right, so now I'm going to make the ring that goes around in here and sew that in. So usually what I do is I'll sew it once and then put the ring in and then sew it a second time to make it the right length and everything else. So let me get the boning. I believe it's 15 inches around. I wrote it down last time, but oh no, it's 16 inches. Okay. Did I write down 15 or 16? Boning ring. Do not have it written down there. Oh, I need to cut off the extra stuff too. Might even learn to use a sewing machine over my break and use it to make some puppet clothing. Yeah, that's basically all I use it for. That and the interior lining for these things, which is what I'm doing right now. Occasionally I'll do arms that way or legs. I can tell you already, this stuff frays like crazy. Oh, and that didn't. Sorry. I thought I was done with it. It didn't catch here at the top. I'm glad nobody can see this stitching. It's pretty awful. My grandmother used to always, and she taught me, my grandmother taught me how to sew when we did the Melonpool puppets in 96 and, or 94. And she would always say, okay, I'm going to sew this for you, but don't show you the stitching to your mom because she's a much better sewer than I am. So it's at least as good as that. I could probably just leave that. But... And I was taught in one of the videos to, you would sew on, you would mark it on one side and sew it, but you cut it on the other side because often your sew lines aren't the same as your mark lines. So it's good to do it on the opposite side so that you know that you're following the sew line. I think that was on the Panabecker videos. I should probably try and track that video down. I'm sure somebody put it online somewhere. I can just laugh at all the things I do differently now. Just trying to neaten this up as much as I can. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do 18 because I want to have like an inch of overlap. There's 18. I'm gonna cut like an inch off of here. Maybe like an inch and a half. So I did an inch and a half total. I didn't do an inch and a half off one side and inch off the other. I just want to have enough so that it'll fold over. Let me make sure this will fit in here. So yeah, so that's about what I want. How many puppets? Do you know how many puppets you made this year, TC? Because I felt like I made a lot this year, but I feel like you made more, a lot more, like hundreds more. You don't know for sure. Yeah, I know. Every time I see you, you seem to have just finished off like another 50 puppets or something like that. I'm sweating when I've made like what 15 this year. But in making the 15, I refurbished all those multiple puppets, so I don't think I'm even counting those. Yeah, there's something weird about this boning. It's different than the other stuff. Like it's not as thick. I can feel the difference. I'm sure it won't make any difference at all in the finished product, but I do think I like the other stuff better. Which usually when I order this stuff, I just go back to my last Amazon order and then say buy again. So it's probably just going to be this way from now on. I had never heard of uh, corset boning before I started working with BJ, and I don't use nearly as much as he does in a lot of it, or that they did at the time. Like they put vertical pieces up in the body to keep it from compressing, and vertical pieces in the several in the head to keep it from compressing. I usually just put it at the neck, um, the shoulders, and the base of the body, and then I make a ring at the bottom of the neck tube to keep it all together. Although sometimes it doesn't line up, so I end up having to use a safety pin to do it. Your puppets look great. I like your puppets a lot, TC. I a lot of times where I get stuck is I'm trying to build to a drawing. I guess like I have a client that I'm building something that they have expectations to. Whereas when you're building just to have something to sell or whatever, you don't have to answer to anybody, I guess. So I feel like where I get slowed down is trying to make the client expectations realistic or realized, I guess. If client expectations were realistic, it would be like, oh yeah, stapled, that's perfect. Hot glue, yeah, go for it, man. So sometimes I put these on after you've probably seen me after I have the head done. And that's if I'm not 100% sure how long the body is. I don't honestly know if these are going to be in the right spot, but it's so much easier to do it. Usually, what I do is I make a bunch that have the neck ring and then a bunch that don't, and then add the neck ring later or decide I don't need to put the neck ring in. Those are almost the same size. I need to. So I'm kind of folding it in about a half an inch, or out like a half an inch. Tell you what, this material is fraying like crazy, and I have some fray check, but it doesn't seem to work real well. So once I finish this up, once I tie it all up, I don't think it'll be a problem. But not thrilled with the fabric choices at Michael's. When you said hold them to a higher expectation, I misread that as hold it to a lighter expectation. And I thought, oh, maybe I could run this horrible fabric next to the lighter and keep the fraying from happening. But I have no idea how flammable this stuff is, so I think I will not do that. Okay, here we go. I have a tendency to design, and then when I build, slightly redesign. And I think it makes it a better product because it gets refined as it goes. But I think a lot of clients, they want it to look exactly like the drawing. And I think that's a big place where the disconnect happens, is me wanting to make it look better than the drawing. Trying to get rid of all these stray threads here. I should get my smaller scissors out. All right, there's one of them. I can't tell you how long I had a sewing machine before I realized this little thing came off to be able to do sleeves with. This plastic piece. I don't think my grandmother's machine had that feature. It was a very ancient, as my grandmother said, very cheap sewing machine. Tell you what, this white thread sure does make it easier to see where I've sewn. All right, so now I'm going to take those rings I made. I'm basically going to flip these up about an inch. Basically, I want to, well, maybe not even an inch, maybe just a little less than an inch. And then I'll very carefully clip that down. so it's somewhat straight. Yeah, the last couple of puppets I did, in fact, the Ralph puppet I had to do this with, I used denim for this just because that's all I had on hand. But I used up all that old denim I had. Denim was not a bad choice. I had a real light denim, but it didn't stretch, and it was, you know, it was rugged. So that was a good choice. Maybe I'll just try and find some denim like that. All right. Okay, so now keeps getting caught. Let's see, it's running off. I think I better start over. Yeah, so let me get that all situated and try it again. A lot of it's trying to make sure that you don't lose track of this fabric. This is not going to be my best work here. Perfect. See, if I use black thread, you couldn't see it, and it'll look great. But it'll keep it from fraying too bad, doing that double hem, and it'll keep the ring in place. Because I started and stopped so much, there's just plenty of these little threads. Okay, let me do the other one, see if I can do any better with that one. no. I felt it get weird. It's because the bobbin ran out. So all that, I got about halfway around. Let me do that again. Okay. It's weird. You can kind of feel the difference in the tension. And I thought that the top thread stopped feeding. See, my automatic threader just stopped working one day. I have no idea why. Which is why I try to avoid having to do this at all costs. Doesn't help that I'm half blind. There we go. Okay. Yeah, good enough. That's all they get for $1. All right. Okay, got both of those done. Only like 5 more to do. Only 3 more to do. But this will get me through the night, so this might be where I end up. But I have this body I'm working on here. And the way this will work. Yeah, that's about right. So this will go right onto the body, on the neck. and tie into the head, and then that should be pretty good. So, all right. Well, cool. I think I'm done for tonight. I think I've done just about as much as on this that I can at this moment. I'll do probably 3 more tonight, but I'm getting hungry, and I'm sure Tilly needs a walk. But yeah, so I'm doing good. All right. Well, I will probably. I can't believe how out of center this is. Oh, something happened during the. I must have knocked a cord or something because it's all off the registration now, as evidenced by the green bar here. All right, I'm gonna head out, but I will see you guys probably tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. So I will talk to you later. Bye.